Joe Rogan is the latest personality celebrity to come forward and defend sweet Justin Baldoni, calling out Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, saying they effed up.
How about she told him to come into the dressing room while she was breastfeeding?
Okay, Joe Rogan is blasting Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, and I just kind of found this to be quite funny.
Joe Rogan just did what no Hollywood male dared to. While most stay silent, carefully polishing their image and avoiding controversy, Rogan kicked down the velvet rope and said what everyone else was too afraid to. In the middle of a legal war between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, a battle packed with allegations, power plays, and a $400 million lawsuit, Rogan didn't just take a side. He tore into the system. And in doing so, he may have exposed a much bigger truth, that behind the smiles and red carpet photos, Hollywood is a battlefield of silent influence, weaponized reputation, and elite protection. But what exactly did Rogan say? And why is the backlash only just beginning? Number 1, the lawsuit that shook Hollywood. Just in case you've been living under a rock, Hollywood's golden couple, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, are knee-deep in a legal firestorm.
On the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni saga. I know, people are really into this, like really into this.
It all started when Lively accused her, It Ends With Us, co-star and director Justin Baldoni of misconduct on set. In response, Baldoni filed a $400 million defamation lawsuit, claiming the couple tried to ruin his reputation and career. That alone would have been enough to dominate headlines for months. But then, Joe Rogan entered the chat, and what he said flipped the entire narrative on its head. Number 2, Rogan's unfiltered take.
You've been following the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively thing?
Bro, Blake Lively, talk about ruining your reputation, and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, they up.
Joe Rogan didn't tiptoe into this one. On a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, he unloaded on the Lively Reynolds legal attack with the kind of brutal honesty that's made him both a cultural lightning rod and a masculine icon for millions. They effed up, Rogan said flatly, referring to Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. You don't sue a guy like that unless you've got everything airtight, because now it just looks like damage control, and bad damage control at that. He wasn't just defending Justin Baldoni, he was calling out what he sees as a growing trend. Powerful Hollywood figures using their influence to crush anyone who challenges them, especially when their reputations are on the line.
But that's what it takes.
That's what it takes.
It's like Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
He's like, all right.
Yeah.
He did it for the boys.
Exactly.
According to Rogan, this wasn't about justice, it was about narrative control. Protect the brand, no matter the truth. And the real problem? No one else is saying it. While most male celebrities sit back in silence, too afraid of the blowback, too desperate to protect their endorsements and image deals, Rogan steps forward unapologetically. He even questioned the motivation behind the lawsuit itself. When someone drops a $400 million lawsuit in response to harassment claims, it feels less like a fight for truth and more like a chess move, Rogan said. A flex. That word stuck. Flex. Because in a world where public perception is currency, lawsuits can become tools, not for justice, but for domination.
And then part of the complaint was that he came into the breast room while I was breastfeeding.
Rogan's comments immediately sparked backlash from media outlets and celebrity defenders, some accusing him of minimizing serious allegations. But that didn't stop him.
Like, you literally have a text exchange back and forth.
In fact, it only fueled him more. Because for Rogan, this wasn't about one case. It was about a pattern, a culture where silence is expected and speaking out comes with consequences. And while most play along, Rogan ripped the curtain back. But what he revealed next cut even deeper. Number 3, exposing Hollywood's double standards. Joe Rogan didn't stop at just calling out the lawsuit. He went straight for the jugular. Hollywood's deep, unspoken hypocrisy. In his eyes, the industry isn't broken. It's functioning exactly as it was designed, a two-faced system where morality is brand-dependent and accountability only applies when it's convenient. Everyone out here pretending they care about the truth, Rogan said, but behind the scenes, it's all PR, image control, and fake apologies. Hollywood isn't about right and wrong. It's about who you can't afford to offend. He pointed to a pattern. Actors who are canceled for minor missteps while others, protected by their connections, skate by despite serious allegations. It's not about justice. It's about influence.
And only tried to appease Blake Lively because she was such a high-maintenance diva bully brat. He had to bend over backwards just to get her to shut up and complete the film.
And that's exactly what Rogan believes is happening with Lively and Reynolds. Public darlings, untouchable, shielded. He even dragged the media into the conversation, accusing legacy outlets of being complicit in the narrative shaping. These journalists don't ask questions, they publish the press releases, slap on a headline, and call it news, Rogan snapped. Meanwhile, real goes unchallenged. And the fans? They're waking up. Online forums, Reddit threads, and comment sections are now filled with people questioning the double standards. People who once blindly supported celebrity causes now asking, wait, who's actually telling the truth? That shift terrifies Hollywood, because once the public starts looking behind the curtain, the machine starts breaking down. And when a guy like Rogan, someone with a platform too big to cancel, starts shouting into the void, others start listening. This wasn't just a celebrity feud anymore, it was a reckoning. A moment where someone finally said the quiet part out loud. Hollywood doesn't care about truth, it cares about optics. And Rogan wasn't done yet, because in the next breath, he turned the spotlight towards something even more uncomfortable, the silent power of Hollywood couples, and how they weaponize influence without ever saying a word. Number 4, the silent influence of power couples. Joe Rogan didn't name drop lightly. When he brought up Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, he wasn't just talking about two actors, he was talking about a machine, a brand, a power couple who've mastered the art of public perception. And he made one thing crystal clear: that kind of influence doesn't just shape headlines, it shapes outcomes. These aren't just two people with a fan base, Rogan said. They're an empire, marketing gold. Their image is so clean it's practically bulletproof. So when something threatens it, you better believe they'll use everything to protect it. That's where Rogan believes the lawsuit becomes more than just a legal response. It becomes a strategy, a signal to the industry and the public that they control the narrative. Not Baldoni, not the media, and certainly not the court of public opinion. He even hinted at the darker side of that influence. How power couples like Lively and Reynolds can silently blackball someone in Hollywood, not with threats, but with absence. No invites, no endorsements, no more deals. It's the kind of erasure that doesn't make headlines, but ends careers. And the worst part, it's nearly impossible to trace. No paper trail, just a slow disappearance. Rogan painted Baldoni as the underdog in a rigged game, a guy going up against an image so pristine, so weaponized, that fighting it makes you look guilty before you even speak. They don't have to say anything, Rogan added. Their brand speaks for them. It's a dangerous imbalance, where the power to sway public emotion is just as lethal as any legal document. And while the public watches a scandal unfold, Rogan is asking the question no one dares voice out loud: what if we've been cheering for the wrong side? But it's not just about who holds the power, it's about how the public is manipulated by it. And as reactions start pouring in, one thing becomes undeniable. This battle isn't just in court, it's in the minds of everyone watching. Number 5, the court of public opinion. The internet didn't wait for a judge. Within hours of the lawsuit going public and Rogan's comments going viral, fans, critics, and influencers were already choosing sides. And it wasn't as clear-cut as Hollywood expected. Some rallied behind Lively, echoing the mainstream narrative that Baldoni's lawsuit was a deflection tactic, a classic case of male retaliation. Others weren't so sure. They started asking questions. Why did the accusations surface so late? Why file a $400 million suit unless there's more to the story? And then came Rogan's audience. Millions of listeners who don't trust traditional media, who see Hollywood's clean-cut image as manufactured and manipulative. For them, Rogan's words didn't just land, they hit a nerve. Reddit threads exploded. YouTube commentators dissected every clip. The narrative was no longer controlled by Lively's PR team or Reynolds' charm. It was in the hands of the people, and they were angry, not just at the lawsuit, at the machine behind it, at the feeling that the truth no longer mattered, only the story that sold best. Even insiders started to speak out anonymously. Studio whispers about how the couple allegedly overstepped, about how Baldoni was iced out quietly months before the public even knew there was trouble. And as more of these behind-the-scenes claims leak into public forums, the lines between victim and villain blur. It's not about who you believe anymore, it's about why you believe them. Joe Rogan didn't just throw gasoline on a fire, he exposed the fact that the fire was already raging, hidden behind velvet ropes and smiling interviews. His voice gave permission for others to speak, and now, no one's holding back. The courtroom is months away. But the real trial, it's already happening online, and it's building towards something bigger. Because as the noise grows, there's one question hanging over it all. What happens when the public turns on the very system that shaped them? Joe Rogan didn't just comment, he cracked Hollywood's polished mask. While most stay quiet, he exposed the power plays, the silence, and the carefully managed image behind the lawsuit. This isn't just about Blake, Justin, or Ryan. It's about who controls the narrative and who dares to challenge it. Rogan did, and now the public's watching with new eyes. Drop your thoughts below, because this story, it's far from over.